Getting diagnosed with autism at a young age is very surreal. Because imagine being 12 years old and you're just like, okay, so it seems like I don't fit in anywhere. Because if I try to fit a certain standard that society wants me to be and fit into like what their ideal is, I just get mocked and ridiculed by my peers and adults. And if I try to not try at all, if I try to think outside the box and just be myself, I get ridiculed even harder. I don't know what people want from me, but it fucking hurts. And I feel like I was not made for this planet and that everyone around me is crazy. And then some child therapist who you've only talked to a handful of times is like, good news. Actually, you have a neurological condition called autism, and you have a special branch of it called pizza titties. And you have to be 12 years old and know, okay, I have a disability with the stupidest fucking name ever. And then the more you research it, the more you research it, the dumber it sounds. It's like, oh, okay. So Pizza Titties is named after a fucking Nazi, Hans Pizza Titties. He basically believed in euthanizing children, killing of the races, segregation, and that his whole reason for coining Pizza Titties, aka the special branch of autism that he made up, was because he was deciding, okay, which of these weird little fucks are going to be sent to death because they're so fucking weird and they can't survive in our perfect little Eurocentric society? Or which of these will be forced to work to death in the fucking gulag? And then guess which side you're on? Yay! Fuck you! And then it's like, okay, let me research more about it. Oh, okay, every single fucking artistic organization is ran by non-autistic people who do not give a single shit about autism. They think that autism is caused by vaccines. They think that electroshock therapy and massaging special oils into your kid, like lavender and lemon oil, will stop the autism from growing, whatever that fucking means. And then it's like, okay, so you research more into it, and it's like, okay, so if you have this special branch of autism, that means higher rate of suicide, higher rate of not having fucking friends, higher rate that you will have to rely on disability. Oh, and fun fact about disability, we will give you money, not a fucking lot of it, and definitely not to survive, so you'll probably need a job. But if you dare to have a job, you cannot make more than $2,000. And if you dare even like work a job that makes less than 2K, if you ever have 2K in your savings, congratulations, you cannot earn any fucking more money from disability. You are cut off. We don't care if disability is only $500 a month. And if rent is like $2,500 and you need to work both a job and have disability. If you have over 2,000, fuck you. And then it just, they don't give a shit about you. So that's why tons of disabled people either aren't working, because literally if they are, it's so fucking stupid. I can talk about this later. But in a nutshell, you can only work you have to work yourself either to the bone and not get disability and struggle, or you could have both but have to do weird balancing. I won't talk more about this. Let me get back on topic. We can get you disabled support in the form of very useless people who fucking hate disabled people working here just for the sake of collecting free money from their nonprofit. Fuck you otherwise. And then, of course, like autism and the school system, oh, trust me, they don't give a fuck. Teachers will be like, oh, what, you need a different fucking classroom to take your test in? You're fucking pathetic. They will treat you like pieces of shit if you're like, oh, is it okay if I actually do my homework in a different class or my schoolwork? They will treat you like shit. Total fucking shit. You'll have non-autistic teachers in the classroom who are just like, oh yes, I care about these kids. And to really show how much I care about them and how like well they are able to assimilate into society and bond, we will force them several times a day to come into like the special ed classroom at the farthest end of the school, far away from fucking everybody, and we're going to make it fucking obvious by having like 2 teachers swarm them in the classroom, always looking over them, never giving them any room or space to socialize, make friends, talk, or even zone out for more than 2 fucking seconds without breathing down their neck. Like, you know, it's middle school. It's already bad enough if you're roasted for having, like, fucked up hair, missing teeth, acne, body odor, all this shit. Imagine all of that. And plus it's like, oh, something's also wrong with them because they've got that funky, dirty old man with the missing fingers, like, helping them out with their classwork, and no one likes that funky, dirty old man. Fuck you for needing that man in this classroom, bitch. And basically, society just really sets you up to fail. It's like, hey, do you want housing? Congratulations. Fuck you. And people are so poorly educated on it that it's like, okay. I'll put it this way. They also have a tendency in the school system to just put kids of varying disabilities that don't like just all in the same classroom. It could be a budget thing. It could be a carelessness thing. But let me tell you, We did not need like the depressed suicidal girl who is struggling with her self-esteem and slitting her wrists every fucking day to be in the same classroom as the kid with intense anger issues whose way of having fun was to insult every fucking kid around him, as well as all the other kids with low self-esteem. And like everyone had separate, very interesting, diverse issues that all clashed. And of course, to everyone else, they saw us as collectively fucking weird. And teachers love to preach me as the like normal kid or the poster kid because it's like, yeah, it's like I guess I'm the most high functioning or I assimilate the best and amassed the best back then. So they like to really just put me on the forefront of, look at this model child. Look at her. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she nice and docile and not like the other screaming kids we have? That didn't fucking matter to anyone else. Because even if I did make bonds with other people, and then it's like, okay, they don't know I'm autistic. I'm trying my best here to like fit in and not do too much or do too little. I'm trying, really trying. As soon as they saw me go into that fucking classroom, they went, oh yeah, you're in the class as that same kid who keeps chanting chicken and cheese over and over and over again and slapping himself. You're in the same class as all those other kids who pick their nose and write the boogers on the walls. You're in the same class as the kid with rage issues, the cutters, the suicidal kids, and the people who have Down syndrome. And people fucking hate kids with Down syndrome. That's an awful reality of the world. And so no matter how good you could be, as soon as they find out, oh, you have autism, then they think you're one of those people who are going to like put your hand to their chest and try to bite your neck, and that are like incoherently screaming, or that you're one of those kids that flips tables and whatnot. Now, I'll put it like this. I think those kids are still deserving of fucking respect either way. Like, it's like, okay, you ride the short fucking yellow bus. That's not a fucking problem to me. That's not a fucking problem to me, and I hate that society made it a problem. It's like, yeah, how did you see, oh yes, these are kids who need like special education on how to survive in society, or how to behave in public, or even just like ways to understand better like their peers and communicate and bond, but they set up so many restrictions that really fuck you up so that even I'll put it like this. Realistically, I think for at least me, my disability only limits me by a solid like 20 to 30% of my life. And that it's everyone else and the way they have a horrible opinion of autistic people, disabled people in general, that it shoots up to like 80%. And that's what made school barely survivable for me. Barely. Because it truly is other people. And as well as society and the limits on like how much money you can have, what kind of housing you can get, what kind of jobs you can have. Just people side-eye you and treat you like shit over everything. It's awful. It's awful. Like, it's already awful enough if you gotta wake up and be like, oh, I can hear the fucking construction outside today, and it's giving me such a headache that I might not be able to fully function correctly. And then you have to deal with 9 million other bullshits on top of it. But anyway, it got better in high school because I guess they got better at actually assimilating kids. Like, oh, hey, let's invite the kids who are not, like, neurodivergent into the class to hang out. And we had Christmas parties and smash battles. And we played, like, soda pong, which was just beer pong, but with soda because obviously we were fucking minors. And people had an easier time making friendships outside of their little bubble because it turns out, hey, when you don't just force all the little strange little gremlin children into, like, one tiny-ass classroom together, and force them to actually learn how it is like to experience other people in like a safe and a controlled environment, they're going to flourish. Like, yeah. And it turns out when people aren't treating us like a fucking anomaly, and that when they don't see me and I say, oh, I'm autistic, they don't instantly like clutch their pearls and like snarl in disgust. Because like I like the people who are open-minded, like, oh shit, I've never heard about that. Can you tell me more about that? And I've also dealt with people who are like, oh, I would have never guessed that you were. And it's like, yeah, because people always have the worst opinion. They think of the worst fucking version of autism that they've read online, like on a 4chan green text, or like some really shitty meme someone posted. Like, and I just hate that, Anyway, that's all. Peace out. Just be nice to disabled people. And I guess, I'll also add this. I don't get the whole normalized mistreatment of disabled people, because how do you see people who are fucking disabled and have a hard enough time on this planet, whether within their own brain or with like what society does to them already, and think I should add to this? I think that's fucking stupid. Like, once you're past like the age of like 5th grade or something, it's like that shit's not cool. I remember some kids actually in middle school. There was this kid with Down syndrome. He had a lot of bad habits. Like, he had a habit of like showing his penis to random kids on the bus, just accidentally, some accident. I don't know. He was a severe case, is what I'm saying. And then one day, I guess the other kids on the special ed bus, the psychopathic ones, they were like, let's feed him a bottle of piss. It's gonna be so funny. And then I snitched as soon as I fucking could. And I remember all the bullshit that came after me from doing that. But at the end of the day, it's like, no, I don't care if that kid can't feed himself or like doesn't even know where he is and can't even say more than three fucking words and can't describe the situation he was in. I think that's fucked up to do with someone. I think that's fucked up. That's all. Peace out.